So our next match here on centre court, the qualifier Lauren Davis taking on the wildcard Bojana Bobusic after the win by Emilia Gaudasova 6-4, 7-5. Some of the other matches that are being played as well on the outside courts. Chanel Scapers of South Africa 6-1, 6-2 over Elise Cornet, and Svetlana Peronkova 6-3, 6-4 over Arena Camelia Begu. Plenty of matches still to come today. Players not too far away. Lauren Davis finished the 2012 season inside the top 100 for the first time off the back of a quarter-final appearance at the WTA event in Quebec City and the second round of the French Open. Davis also has 6 ITF titles to her name. Coming through qualifying, Davis is making her main draw debut at the Moorilla Hobart International. Please welcome from the USA, Lauren Davis. Bojana Bobusic has won ITF singles title to her name. In 2012, the West Australian reached the semi-finals of the ITF event in Burnie, along with 5 quarter-final appearances. Bobusic successfully qualified for last week's Brisbane International, falling in the first round, and in December won a main draw wildcard into next week's Australian Open via the playoff at Melbourne Park in December. Please welcome from Western Australia, Bojana Bobusic. So as the players are into their warm-up, very excited to have in our commentary position the Team GB Fed Cup captain Judy Murray. Lovely to have you up here. Lovely to see you, Judy. Happy New Year. Or just adjust your mic there, Judy. I think everything is okay. So really looking forward to this clash between the qualifier and the wildcard. Bojana Bobusic defeated Arina Rodionova at the wildcard playoff in December at Melbourne Park. Lauren Davis coming through qualifying. It's already played a handful of matches here in Hobart to get to the main draw. 26.7 degrees in Hobart. We're tracking towards that 29. The breeze will pick up as this match goes on and then throughout the afternoon. Coming up, Nina Brachikova, Russia, taking on Sorana Kostaya, the second seed. Plenty of other matches. Let's see if we got you now, Judy.
I have no idea.
There we are. We found you.
You found me. Very good.
I welcome you again. Thank you so much for coming up.
Thank you.
I want to ask you first off about Team GB, because 2012 has been such an amazing year for British tennis, both on the men's side, obviously, with Andy, but also on the women's side too. And I think in particular around that Wimbledon time, we had so many British players making it through to the second round, a couple making it through to the third round. It's really a testament to the hard work that's been put in over the past couple of years.
Yeah, I think it was a very positive year for us on both the men's and the women's side. I mean, I just been involved for just over a year now on the women's side, and prior to that I didn't really know much about women's tennis at all, because all my experiences in coaching had obviously been through the junior circuits and then more on the men's side, so it was a new thing for me. And we had Fed Cup ties in Euro Africa zone in February, and so I spent most of January getting to know the girls here in Auckland and at Melbourne, and we managed to get ourselves out of that zone in Israel and into a World Group playoff with Sweden, which was very exciting because we'd been stuck in that group for about 20 years, I think. However, we came up a bit short against Sweden. They played very well, but I think that was kind of the start of like a little bit of confidence and good team spirit, and the girls supporting each other very well. So
I want to ask you about Laura Robson in particular, because she played here in the main draw yesterday. It really was a high-quality match against Sloane Stephens. How is she feeling after that match?
I didn't speak to her too much after the match. She works with a Croatian coach called Zelko Krajan and her fitness trainer, and so he would do all the kind of debriefing and everything. I think I think Sloane is playing very well just now, and she's an incredibly good mover. She absorbed most of what Laura threw at her in terms of pace very, very well. I thought conditions were a wee bit tricky. It was quite breezy. Yes. I saw Laura struggling a bit with her ball toss on her serve, and when she serves well, then she's in a great position to dictate the point. And when she loses the rhythm a little bit on her serve, then and the opponent can get the first strike in. If she's missing a lot of first serves, then she's a little bit more on the back foot. But I mean, two very exciting prospects right there. Obviously, one American and one British, and I got to know Laura pretty well over the course of last year, and obviously we had very exciting time during the Olympics where she ended up picking up a silver medal in the mixed doubles with Andy.
Are you sure you don't want to share Laura with us? She was born in Melbourne. No, she's rising up through the rankings now. Are you sure we didn't do a timeshare deal?
No, no chance.
I can tell you, spending some time at Wimbledon last year, and normally we give the Team GB a bit of stick because, particularly on the women's side, they haven't done so well in previous years. It was nightmarish because all the British Gerdos.
Oh yeah, I know.
The Australians not doing so well last year were giving it to me, and Laura Robson played pretty well. Heather Watson too is a real up and comer. Where's she playing at the moment? She'll be playing next week in Melbourne. Yeah,
she was playing in Auckland last week, and she won through her first match, lost her second match in 3 sets, and picked up a little bit of an injury to her elbow, which has caused her to withdraw from here, which I know she was disappointed about. One, because she loves coming here, and two, because obviously she wanted some more matches before the Australian Open. But you really have to take care of your body, as you know. Without that, you're never going to play your best. So it was better to, err on the side of caution and just do the rehab on the elbow and get herself ready for Melbourne.
This match not too far away from a start will be Bobusic serving. I'll ask you quickly about Elena Baltasar as well. We saw her here, we've seen her the last couple of years playing in this event. Was on the cusp of qualifying the Olympics, got it in there too. Where's her tennis at the moment?
Well, she's just she had a surgery on her foot in October time, and so she has literally just started hitting again in the last few weeks. So she's hoping to make her comeback around Indian Wells time, but it meant that she was out for a few months. It was something that she knew she needed to have done, and she put it off till after US Open. So she's on the mend, and hopefully we'll see her back, because for us she was for many years a tremendous British number one, incredible girl.
Well, inside the top 52, and great striker of the ball. So see this match getting underway, and Anki Othavong was the other player. Her tennis, how did you assess her 2012?
She had a kind of an up and down, I'd say, 2012. I mean, ended 2011 very high. She had a really good indoor season at the back end of the year. But she was probably a little bit up and down, a little bit in and out. Her big goal for 2012 was to get into the Olympics. And of course none of our girls were in on ranking, none of them, and we knew we would get one wild card as the host nation, and we had put it out there at the beginning of the year that whoever was ranked highest at the cut-off date of our girls would get in, which was Anne. So that was really what she was aiming for all year. And then as it happened with our girls being on the spot, you know, as players got injured or withdrew or whatever, we actually managed to get all 4 of them into the singles and all 4 of them into the doubles. It was quite uncanny. But yeah, Anne's playing in the qualifying in Melbourne.
Okay, which will get underway in a couple of days' time up there. In terms of the time that you spend with the Fed Cup role that you have, how much time do you spend on the road travelling? Are you constantly travelling throughout the year, checking on the progress of the girls?
I did a lot of travelling last year, and there was a number of reasons for that you know, for me to leave Scotland just after Christmas and kind of be away the whole of January with the girls was really because the job was new to me and I didn't know them very well, and I thought it was really important, I think, when you're trying to captain a team or work with somebody, that you know them as people, not obviously not just as tennis players. And so I wanted to try to spend as much time as I could around them and their coaches, so I understood how they worked, what they were working on, how they reacted to certain things, how they would respond to certain things. And you know, going out for dinners, you can learn so much more, I think, about them as people when you're able to do that away from the tennis stuff.
Yes.
So I did that, and because we managed to get out of our group in February in the Fed Cup, that meant another tie in April. So I then went quite a bit in March with our girls, but also to try and scout the Swedish players as well in competition. And then of course we had the Olympics, which is a team sport as well, so you know, through obviously you try to support them at the slams and at the bigger events, so kind of went from the World Group playoff into the French Open, and then of course the grass court season when we're busy not just with the Fed Cup girls but the ones who are just below that as well, and then it was into the Olympics, and then before you know it you're into the US Open, and so last year was absolutely hectic.
Break points here for Davis early in this match. And there it is, the break in the opening game for Lauren Davis. The difference in coaching a team of players as opposed to coaching individuals, you've now got experience with both. What are the key differences looking after Team GB in the Fed Cup as opposed to, say, coaching an individual player?
Yeah, well, I think that, you know, if you're coaching somebody individually, then you're obviously working with them day in and day out, and you are very much responsible for their day-to-day development. And I think, you know, being the team captain, you know, last year I had the girls for 3 separate things, 2 Fed Cup ones and the Olympics. If we had lost in Israel, if we hadn't got out of that group, there wouldn't have been any more ties until the following February. You would have had 12 months without anything really. But I think it's not just a support for the players. I think it's a support for the coaches as well. That it's an extra pair of eyes and ears on the road. Yep. It's somebody else to talk to about, you know, what they see, and obviously have not a lot of experience on the women's side, but a lot of experience in the terms of the development of a male player. So, you know, looking particularly at our young players, at where they're at just now, any things that you might add into it, any people that you might add in, even if it's just for a few days or a week or something, that it's just you're always looking for those extra things that could make a difference to a player's programme. And I think sometimes when you're working with a player every single day, you can miss things just simply because it's there in front of you. And to have somebody come in, you know, at a slightly different angle can be helpful sometimes. So, but also obviously just, you know, trying to foster that kind of team spirit so that actually the girls are supporting each other on the road away from the team competition as well. And I think we've achieved quite a lot with that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been good to track because obviously we're in a similar situation. Yes, we've got Sam Stozer, but there are a lot of these younger players now who are coming through, and players like Bojana Bobusic, obviously Ashley Barty as well. We're at a similar stage in development, and it's just great to watch these players make that transition from the junior ranks onto the senior circuit.
Yeah, and I think for the girls it's I mean, it's good for them if there are others from their own country that are doing well, because they can push each other, but they can also help each other a lot. I mean, it's much more enjoyable to be on the road and know that there's a little squad of you that you can go out for dinner with from time to time. I mean, not every night, but you know, I think that helps as well. And you know, your country is probably quite similar to ours. You know, we're both Grand Slam nations. We don't have loads and loads of top players, so we have to work hard with the ones that we've got and try not to make mistakes with them. It's very easy to make mistakes and to overspoil them when you have a few, but it's just trying to make the right decisions at the right time so that they can come through.
And so how long will you be staying in Hobart for?
Well, Laura, as we spoke about, lost yesterday to Sloane, sadly. So I am going to go to, I'm going to say it wrong, Bonarong. I keep calling it Bongaro, but it's Bonarong or something like that, isn't it? I keep saying it wrong. I'm going to go to that, it's a wildlife sanctuary, isn't it? Because I want to see a Tasmanian devil. Last year I left here and I absolutely loved Hobart. I discovered Salamanca, and I found some great cafes and some great little boutique shops, and I had a great, once I'd found that, I would go there every morning, walk there every morning, do what I had to do, wander around, come back, do whatever I needed to do at the tennis. Loved that. But I left Hobart last year without seeing a Tasmanian devil, and I was absolutely gone about that. So it's on my list, and I will do it. So I'm going this afternoon.
It's going to happen this afternoon as well. So thorough you are as Fed Cup captain. You're actually scouting the venues where Laura was a couple of days ago.
That's
very
right.
thorough of you.
Yeah, Laura was telling me about it last night. I said, I've got to see a Tasmanian devil. So it was actually Laura who said, that's where you have to go. So she said they're not particularly friendly, but I said, I don't mind. I just want to see it.
And the tie you've got coming up in February, who are you playing?
Well, we'll find out who we're playing on the 14th of January, which is the first day of the Open.
Yep.
It's in our zone. There are 15 teams, and we're split into 4 groups. So there's 3 groups of 4 and 1 group of 3. Don't ask me why there's not 16 teams in it. I'm not too sure. So we'll find out who is in our group, and once I know that, then I go and scout the players within those teams, and it's perfect because I can hopefully go and do that during the Open. Make some notes, gather some footage, and start to prepare our battle plans.
Absolutely. Have they got a venue for that? Because they generally play those ties at the same venue.
Our zone last year was in Eilat in Israel, and it's back there again. I think in that Euro-Africa zone, it's not so easy to find venues that have good weather at that time of the year, you know, at the beginning of February, and Israel is one of those places. I think maybe Turkey might be the other one, but for most other nations, you either well, you need an indoor venue, and then you need an awful lot of courts because you've got 16
so many ties going on. So
it's not so easy for, you know, to find the right places to host it. But we really enjoyed it last year. It was quite a similar to here. You know, it was about 1 show court and maybe half a dozen outdoor hard courts. It had a very basic clubhouse, a super hotel, good transport. I mean, everything was fine. It was quiet though. You know, Israel were in our group, so when they played, obviously it was very noisy because they all played in the show courts, but everything on the outside courts was quite quiet, not loads of spectators, but so you have to create your own atmosphere within your team and your own support group. So we had lots of hooters and whistles and things like that. Well, Laura and Heather did. You know, that's where the younger ones, I think, were great because they got into the whole sort of team support thing.
Now, talking about support, Andy reckons that you could commentate the snooker. We've seen you at the Australian Open and at Wimbledon and all the big events cheering on. So I don't think cheering is a problem for Team GB.
No, it's not. No, I quite wear my heart on my sleeve and very competitive. So yeah, I like all that stuff. Yeah, and I mean, I've sat through it for years supporting Andy, as you know, so it doesn't get any easier, I have to say.
No.
It's just as stressful as... I think it's more stressful now, actually, when there's the weight of the expectation. I think it's more stressful now than... I don't remember being stressed in the juniors and stuff like that, and more as he was on his way up. I think it's once you get there and you know how much people are expecting you to do well, I think that's when you kind of feel it. I do, anyway.
Well, yeah, I think everyone felt it around the world at Wimbledon last year, that weight of expectation, getting through that semi-final, so jumping over that hurdle, and when he went up to speak after the match, that the emotion that came out was probably, I would suggest, all the emotion and the build-up from that 2 weeks. You almost dread going to Wimbledon, knowing that there's that pressure of expectation, knowing that front page of the papers and on TV and that sort of thing. It must be a bit of a burden for both Andy, but also for the family as well.
Yeah, I think, again, it's one of those things, it's part and parcel of everything, and it's because Andy's been the main focus, or the only one who's been in a contender position for a number of years since Tim retired, then obviously the bulk of the attention is always on him, and I think he handles it incredibly well. I don't know how he does it, but I think that was such a difficult thing for him to do. There was all that excitement and emotion that went into being in a Wimbledon final, and then being in a good position in the final, and then not quite getting there, and then having to take the microphone and speak in front of everybody.
Why was it like the old days where they didn't actually have to do that?
Yeah, just let the winner speak. It's much easier. Yeah, that was tough.
But then, of course, off the back of that, there was the Olympic gold medal and the emotion that came from that, and really happy to see that US Open victory too, because to talk about the pressure there, the pressure of winning that Grand Slam, being part of that big four in the world, and the confidence that he can take from that into 2013 is enormous. Yeah,
that was a huge thing. I mean, the Olympics was quite a different. I don't know, it was just that there was a lot of things that were different about the Olympics tennis. I think partly the tennis was part of a much bigger sporting occasion. Yes. You were playing for a team rather than playing for yourself. The crowd was completely different. It was a much more relaxed crowd, more families, a more laid-back crowd, I would say. More sort of general sports fans rather than specifically tennis fans, which is more what you get at Wimbledon. So it was quite a different experience, I think, for everybody, and it's great because that only comes around once every 4 years. So winning Olympic gold in tennis is you don't get so many chances to do that. But I think when you're a tennis player, probably the things that you're aiming at every year are the slams.
Yes.
And that had been Andy's dream since he was a little boy, that he wanted to win a Grand Slam, and I'd kind of always felt that he was more likely to do it at US or Australia because the surface suits his game better. But yeah, I have to say that when he actually won, it was I felt exactly the same as how he said he felt, and it was much more relief rather than joy, absolutely overjoyed. It was just more like, but I think it's just the weight of the expectation. But I think as a parent, you know how hard they've worked and for how long and how much it means to them, and you've seen them come close and you've seen the disappointment. You know how hard it is to bring them back from the disappointment, and be there and encourage them. And I think when you've kind of lived through all that, it was just like, oh, thank God for that, rather than, whoa, wonderful, he's won it.
Yeah, I can imagine. How's he feeling, obviously, off the back of winning the title in Brisbane yesterday? Feeling pretty good coming into the big slam next week?
I obviously haven't seen him because I've been here, but you're always a little bit rusty match-wise or mentally. Your match fitness isn't there at the start of the season, because obviously you've had a number of weeks off from competition, so you might be feeling physically very strong, but it's that kind of sharpness of your mind, I think, that takes you a few matches just to get into that. So I think he will be delighted to have had 4 matches under his belt, and
5
matches.
if you count the exhibition in Abu Dhabi.
Oh yes,
played
he
as
played
well.
a match in Abu Dhabi, yeah. Yeah, that's right. We flew on Christmas night to go. We had to leave on Christmas night to go to Abu Dhabi. I mean, that was actually the reason that I went with him, because he came home for Christmas for the first time in 4 years, and he said, I'm going to have to fly on Christmas night from Glasgow to Dubai. And I thought, that's such a shame. So I thought, well, I'll go with him so he doesn't have to fly on his own. And,
opening presents on the plane.
Yeah, oh yeah. But it was, that was a super event in Abu Dhabi, really nice. But yeah, probably just didn't quite get there in enough time to prepare the way that he might have wanted.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it's all come good in Brisbane, and then he'll have a week in Melbourne training with Ivan and the rest of his team, and hopefully be ready to go a week on Monday.
Absolutely. just one more before I let you go. I know you've got to get off to the sanctuary pretty quickly.
That Tasmanian Devil is waiting for me.
Absolutely. A word on Jamie as well. Jamie obviously coming down is making his mark on the doubles tour and making a good fist of it as well. Yeah, he's had some big ups, and he's had some difficult times as well. Jamie won the Wimbledon mixed doubles back in, seems like ages ago now, 2007. He's won a couple of 500 events with Andy, but he's struggled the last couple of years to find a consistent partner, a settled partner. He sort of jumped from one person to the other, and that obviously is not ideal if you're trying to move your ranking up. So he's playing with Colin Fleming, who's also Scottish, in the Australian Open. They played together last week in Brisbane, made the quarters and lost to Mello and Robredo, who won the title. So I've watched Colin and Jamie playing since they were little kids, playing together at they're 2 years apart, but I think the first time I saw them playing doubles, I think they were 8 and 10, so that will be quite fun to watch them. Yeah, absolutely. And when you're up there cheering for Andy, the Australian Open, through the tournaments, he's sitting next to Ivan. Do you just take him aside and say, Ivan, can you show us something? Can you a smile, a laugh? Is there anything to try and just fire him up a little bit? No, you're never going to change him. I'll tell you a funny story. At Wimbledon this year, I missed Andy's first match against Davydenko because I was watching one of the girls, and in the second match I'd said, I don't think I'm going to be there at the start of the match. So there were 2 rows of 6 in the box. I said, leave me a seat on the end so that if I come in, I'm not disturbing everybody. So the seat that was left for me was right behind Ivan. And he turned round at one point and he said, Judy, if you're going to sit behind me again, would you bring me earplugs? I went, what? You ain't heard nothing yet. This is the second round. You just wait till it gets a bit more exciting. That's why he leans forward in the box. His legs over the front there. Now we know. No, he doesn't give anything, nothing at all. And after Andy won in New York, he went off to do all his media and everything. We were trying to book a restaurant to go out so we could go out and celebrate, because so often in tennis you play, then you have all your media obligations, and then you usually got to pack up and go off to the next tournament. And I thought, no, we're going to go out and we're going to celebrate this, even though it was getting quite late at night. So, and I said to Ivan, right, we've booked this whatever Hakkasan restaurant in Times Square, and he said, oh no, he said, I'm not coming, my job is done. And I went, what do you mean you're not coming? He said, no, he said, Judy, I am absolutely bloody exhausted, my job is done, I am going home to sleep. And he got in his car with his wife and drove home. And off he went. He was exhausted, but I think he's so focused, the whole on everything that they do, that sort of the week leading up to it, and then the 2 weeks of the event. I could understand how mentally you would be very tired. Absolutely. So, that's just him. It is. Well, it's been good to watch that partnership develop over the course of last year, but it's always good to see you here in Australia. Best of luck with Team GB. Thank you very much. This year in the Fed Cup, and we look forward to seeing you, watching Andy at the Australian Open next week. It's been a pleasure having you. Thank you. Thank you for asking me. Judy Murray. So this match continuing here, been a long second game. Now into the third game of the opening set. We're looking forward to seeing how Bojana Bobusic goes in this opening round match. Comes in having played in qualifying, getting through qualifying at the Brisbane International and going down in that opening round match, but has also played throughout December in the wildcard playoff. Plenty of matches through there and ended up winning it, so it's through to the Australian Open main draw. Has worked pretty hard in the last couple of months. Lauren Davis had a bit of a struggle against Brachikova yesterday in the final round of qualifying before getting through there. Be looking to fire herself up. And the other features of the Bojana Bobusic game, you see when she prepares to serve, she'll have her back turned for quite some time just to get herself prepared and ready. Also, in some of her matches last year, had a notepad on next to her or on her chair to take notes or look through notes on the match. That's terrific. Beautiful attacking play from Bobusic. Ranked 91 in the world, Lauren Davis. Good year last year, making a transition to the senior ranks. So Bobusic gets the break. 3 games to 1, I should say, in this opening set. We're looking to get through this match. Had a doubles match yesterday, Bojana, 6-1, 6-3, teaming up with Ashley Barty. So getting plenty of match play in ahead of the first Grand Slam coming up. And you can join the conversation. It's at Hobart Tennis is the Twitter handle. And you can also use the hashtag Hobart Tennis as well. You can get involved in the conversation and find out all the latest news of what's happening. You can be part of the conversation here, discussion about how the matches are going. It's really good to have Judy Murray in our commentary position. Some great insights into both British women's tennis, but also how Andy Murray and Jamie Murray are faring heading into the Australian Open next week. A little bit more time there. Actually realised Bojana Bobusic there. going for too much, Lauren Davis, in the early stages of this one. Predicted to be quite an even match. Davis, as I said, coming through qualifying to get to this stage of the tournament. One of the things that really impressive about the Bobusic game is that just shows so much composure out there on court. It's very calm, very focused. Every single point goes through preparation. As I said, has some notes next to her chair just to review how she's going. The notes that she writes, not her coach. And off to a great start here, the Aussie. 4-1 in the opening sets.
Has requested to see her coach. Bobusic leads 4-1. Time.
Lauren, I've got two things. First of all, we need to speed up on your service. It takes really long. And second of all, your coach. So, you know, because our coach is so good. So there is no way he's coaching from his players anymore. Yeah, but still, you're going to get this morning, not here. So I know it's time already. I showed him already, he knows. I mean, yeah, you can tell him.
So the weather update here, it's getting warmer. Now, 28 degrees, getting close to our top of 29. Beautiful day in Hobart. There is a lot of smoke, though. And you can be part of the conversation, too, on Twitter, as you can see there. You can even sign up for updates throughout the day. We'll go through the outside courts in just a moment as well.
Allow 15.
Good hitting from the back of the court from Davis. I mentioned that smoke haze, the bushfire activity still continuing around Tasmania, and our thoughts obviously are with those who are being affected in communities right around the state. Updates on what is happening on the outside court. Simona Halep 6-3 and 2 love. And on court CFM. Lara Arua Borena Vecino. Elena Vesnina 4-2 against Silvia Soler Espinosa. Bobusic doing the right thing, stepping right in. Just coming up with the unforced error. Just so solid from the back of the court. The ground strokes
30-40.
really been working hard. Making the semi-finals of that Pro Tour event in Port Pirie last year. Played the Australian Open main draw. Good work from Davis. Bobusic just trying to bring that ball back into court. Nicely done. It just set up nicely for Davis right in the middle of the court. Did well to generate that angle. Just hearing our effects mics that come on from Bobusic, just quietly to herself, pushing herself along.
Service.
Bobusic really needs to make more of that second serve from Davis. I see her nicely in her hitting zone. Now the breeze has picked up significantly. And as we find at this tournament year after year, the best end to be serving from is at the bottom of your screen where Bobusic is now. A bit more cover with the grandstands. That's nicely done. Davis just trying everything just to get to the net there. Bobusic, good poise. I'm talking about that breeze before. To about 30 kilometres an hour. Picks up as the afternoon goes on.
Serious.
It was a late call, but it did appear to clip the net. And again, just it's under a breath. Here under a breath, Lauren Davis just not happy with herself. Again, a ball just up the middle of the court. One just got to make an attempt just to really just get back into the court. Just missing. Really important game for Davis. Bobusic, pretty good front runner.
Ball, please.
So Davis now with the game point. And just trying to slice that ball back in. It really would be a nothing shot again. Davis, that's the pressure that Bobusic is putting on, though. Really aggressive from the back of the court. Well, Davis has been having a running conversation with the umpire in the early stages of this match, and that will not impress her at all. The umpire will only make the call if she's absolutely sure. Again, Bobusic just had that opportunity. Really, again, didn't need to go so close to the line. It's been a match highlighted by the unforced errors. Another breakpoint opportunity here for Bobusic. With the 10th opportunity, 10th breakpoint opportunity for Bobusic. And gets it on the double fault. That's disappointing for Davis. Bobusic now 5 games to 1 in this opening set. Both players have been untidy at times.
Are you okay? Come here.
So now Bojana Bobusic serving for this opening set. No doubt she would have had the opportunity to have a look at some of the qualifying matches over the past couple of days. Bojana Bobusic didn't know she was playing Lauren until the early evening yesterday. And in the scouting report, that would have been one of the shots to watch for. Just missing the line.
30-15.
Nice work from Bobusic. Just working the ball nice and deep. Just working Davis side to side. Just hasn't found her range at all. 2 set points for the Australian. And there it is, the opening set going the way of Bojana Bobusic, 6 games to 1.
6 games to 1.
The towel, please.
New coach list. Bobusic has requested to see her coach.
Sorry? Yes, sure. Thank you. Thank you. Quickly. Yeah, go with the clap. Thanks a lot. Yeah, just follow her, please. Just next to her. Thank you.
Second test. Ready to serve. New balls. Characters.
So the second set underway here. Lauren Davis leaving the court in the change of sets. Just a quick bathroom break. Now getting herself ready and prepared for a fight back here. Just missing. Bobusic just having a little glance around. Updating some of the scores from the outside courts, and Simona Halep is 6-3 and 4-2. Her first round match against Lara Arua Perena Vecchi. Nicely done. Bobusic did well to get to the net there, but the ball just set up nicely. Davis easing it up the line. And Elena Vesnina 6-2, 1 love over Silvia Soler Espinoza. Both Espinoza and Arua Barena Vecino, both qualifiers, winning their matches yesterday in the final round. And that will fire Davis up. Good hold, opening game of this second set. A lot more aggressive, taking the opportunity to get into the nets. You've really got to capitalise down the end that's at the bottom of your screen. Davis starting to get her game going now. Dropped the first set in her final qualifying match yesterday against Nina Brachikova, the 3rd seed in the qualifying. Davis was the 5th seed, but got through 6-4, 6-1 in the next 2 sets. So has already played a lot of tennis in the past couple of days. That's terrific power. Just trapped the ball nicely, Davis. Took it early, took it at shoulder height, and that is just a great attacking ball. So Davis now has a break of serve. Certainly while her rate has lifted, Bojana Bobusic a bit slow to start in this second set. So Davis consolidates the break. 3 games to love now in this second set. Slowly starting to turn this match around. Bojana Bobusic grabbing the first 6 games to 1. And both players contending with tricky conditions with the wind. Just a score update from Court CFM. Simona Halep is through. 6-3, 6-2 winner. Lara Arua Barrena Vecino of Spain. So Halep will play Sloane Stephens, the number 8 seed, in the next round, which will be a great match. Earlier today, Svetlana Baronkova 6-3, 6-4 over Arena Camelia Begu of Romania, and Chanel Scapers with a win over Elise Cornet. (6-1, 6-2) that score. So getting through these opening round matches. Now, Bojana Bobusic with a bit of work to do in this second set, down love 3.
Wait, please. Thank you.
Really tricky conditions now for both players. You can see the ball just drifting in the air as the breeze takes it. And it just tends to gust up at times throughout the points. So really tough for the players here. And even there you can get a good idea of how that ball is just drifting so much. So now it's a matter of how the players adapt to the conditions. And a real change in game plan here from Davis, particularly in this game, just switching to slice. Not sure about that tactic, tending to just flatten out the ball. Still can be tricky with the ball moving around in the air. So another break point here for Davis. Just we've got a bit more variation there from the American. Great return from Davis. And that's really what she should have done at the start of the game. Instead of changing it up to that slice. Got great power, and it does have a real advantage being at that end. There's another example of the ball toss just losing a handle on it, Bobusic. So there needs to be adjustments made all over the place. This wind picking up. And there's plenty of pressure on this serve. Well, that was a better serve from Bobusic. The wind just dropped before she threw up that second serve. Managed to be able to put a little bit more on it. That ball into the position she wanted it to. So important. Oh, and a warning. A warning for coaching. Davis has just been warned for coaching. Coach on the side of the court. The umpire was straight onto it. You see Davis just looking over at her corner. But she says that she couldn't hear anything. Let's see if that throws her off her rhythm. I've been upset by a couple of things, particularly in the first set, was having a running discussion with the umpire.
Yes. Out. And Bobusic.
Again, just a loose forehand from Davis. And really, just need to get it back into play. The conditions are tricky enough that you could just put a ball back into court, and Bobusic will have the wind to contend with, as well as the pressure that's put on that ground stroke, but can't do it if you bring up an unforced error off the return. Missing. Both players working to all corners of the court. Davis this time with the change-up. Bobusic got there with plenty of time. Just over-hitting that forehand. Again, didn't need to go so close to the line. As we saw in the previous match with Emiligaidisova. Getting to the net, being a little off balance and just really trying to slam that ball into the corner of the court.
First service.
That's when she's at her best, Bojana Bobusic. The opportunity to come forward into the court. Plenty of top spin. And this has been another marathon game. We had a marathon game in the third game of the opening set. Both players with opportunities. Now Bobusic with a game point. Really does need this game. Try and build some momentum in the second set. That was tricky off the back foot, trying to track that ball. Yeah, that was a fault, definitely. Not sure what the linesperson was doing there, but that was clearly out. I think the umpire was just waiting for the call to come. So a break point now for Davis. And she's got it. So it was a struggle, but Davis finally converts that break point. She had several of them in that game. 4-love now in the second set. Is a little easier to serve from the end that Davis has at the moment. That coverage of the grandstand. Well done. That was a tricky ball to hit. A little bit of backspin on it, so it was always moving away from Bobusic. Had to go and chase it. Did well. Just good balance there across court. A big gust of wind. Davis is hitting into that breeze. So, means that she can hit a little freer, put a little bit more on the ball. Davis. Good tactic there. Nice change up. So putting the pressure on Bobusic. Just trying to rush her. Wasn't the prettiest movement to the net, but did enough just to make Bobusic change her shot. And now game point for 5-love. So good showing here, good serving from Davis. 5-love now. And the second set, big chance to level things up at 1-all.
And one more. Just things.
Coming up next here on centre court, the lucky loser into the main draw singles, Nina Brachikova of Russia taking on Sorana Kostaya of Romania, the second seed.
Yeah, I saw it.
Plenty more action to come here at hobartinternational.com.au.
Give me both.
Things starting to cool down a little bit as well. This wind that's picked up,
Appreciate that.
24. And you can be part of the conversation here at Hobart Tennis. That's where you can find us. And all the latest news and updates of what's happening around the grounds, pitches, plenty of stuff there. Now Bojana Bobusic serving to stay in this second set. Oh, just dropping over. The correct etiquette is to, oh, do you reckon? I apologise. Lauren Davis did that, but I think she'll be pretty pleased she got that point. It's again the wind taking it, just dropping it over. So now the players again having to make that adjustment, being on the other side of the court. So for Bobusic, chance to hit more freely into the breeze. Davis work on that top spin. So Davis has to be super careful here. Anything that drifts, anything she gives any air will go a little bit longer than usual with this breeze. Nice work. Great topspin. The ball just dipping. So hit with the angle. Desperate to get on the board. Make Davis serve this out. The other thing we're looking for is if Davis is able to wrap up the set 6-1, at least Bobusic will be serving first in the final set, which is always an advantage. And again.
Bobusic.
So Bobusic holds. Davis now serving for this second set.
Service is 5-1.
In a very strong position, the American, in this second set. Is that extra power that Davis can generate down that end of the court.
Ball is coming.
With the wind favouring her end, so she's hitting with the wind. Can be tricky though, because the breeze does tend to move around a little bit as well. Again, the ball toss is a bit of a problem. I think that was inevitable, that double fault. Just got no confidence throwing the ball up. Oh, now that very close to the line. And it just catch the edge. Aaron Davis certainly doesn't think so. Waiting there for the call. I think it might have just caught the outside of the line. And what it means is a break point now for Bobusic. So another break point here for Bobusic. Plenty of opportunities to break the Davis serve. Needs to right now. Get a look at a second serve. There won't be a lot on this. Bobusic breaks. Still Davis, though. 5-2 in this second set.
Service, please. 5-2.
Sorry? Huh? Bananas. You need more bananas. Just check it in the fridge. There. Just behind the bench. Check it. Yeah. Yeah, put it on a table. Thank you. And you can put it in the garbage. They're empty bananas. Yeah.
Just see Davis through that rally, just trying to lift the intensity, just trying to keep on top of Bobusic, make sure they had no opportunity to get back into this match or back into this set. Again, when you see the players struggling with the ball toss like that, it gets to the point where you actually have to throw up the serve. Not doing it with any sort of confidence. With that unforced error from Bobusic, it brings up 2 set points for the American. Good work from both players there. Bobusic, great angle she's able to generate. Not sure if she intended to get that much angle on it, but it worked well because it forced Davis way out of court. She did well to pick up that ball. And still had a play on the next one too. It still has set point. That was well worked. Didn't overhit the ball, Bobusic, that time. Was still aggressive. Nice change up. Saw the opportunity to come in, took it. So, set point number 3 here for Davis. And that'll do it. We are at 1 set all this opening round match. Lauren Davis 6 games to 2 in the second set.
No, in one game. Okay. Score update and reporting is on Davis 6-1.
Time.
So the final set of this match about to get underway.
Yes, sir.
It hasn't been the prettiest of matches, but tricky with the windy conditions. That wind has really started to gust up over the last half an hour or so. Good attacking play from Davis. Needs to really put her stamp on this third set from this game, being down this end of the court. We saw yesterday in the doubles match how well Bojana Bobusic plays at the net. Quite comfortable there. Another good example of it. The tricky breeze, the ball just floating. Got into position early, could make those last second adjustments if needed. And put the ball away nicely. Really is a clean striker of the ball, Lauren Davis, when she's able to be in full flight. Just put a little more on those. The breeze will help her a bit. Again, the come on from Bobusic. I think despite the fact that she did lose that set 6-2, I know that she's still very much in this match. One of the things is she's been quite calm over the matches that she's played over the past month or so. She gets herself out of tight spots. Oh, and missing two great backhands up the line. Really set up the point. You go and have a look, but the umpire's mind is not going to be changed. And that is the break in the opening game of the third set.
Ball's here.
So Bobusic will have the grandstand to help her here with the serving. Just right down the bottom of the screen. Nanis just hesitates for a while, thinks about how she's going to play the point as her back turned to her opponent before getting ready to serve again. Just struggled with that high backhand today. It is important here for Bobusic to get on the board early in this set. Not only for her confidence, but just to put a bit of pressure on Davis. Game was just a nothing ball, and Davis is pretty annoyed with herself there. Really could have made a lot more of that. Instead, just floated the ball back. Good serve. The right serve to play. That jamming serve into the body of Davis. Bobusic holds all square in this final set. Nina Brachikova of Russia and Sorana Kostaya of Romania. Up next here on centre court tonight, Kirsten Flipkins and Francesca Schiavone, and Ash Barty from Australia taking on the defending champion here, Mona Bartel. Now it's going to be a matter of consistency. First meeting between these two players, so had 2 sets to get used to each other's games, get used to the conditions. Who can keep the ball in play more? Doesn't have to be the prettiest of tennis, but just enough to be able to get over the line. Bojana has said in the past that I've been playing in Perth in Western Australia, used to the heat and the windy conditions. There's just a few bottles just flying off there, off the chair of Bobusic. So Davis, not too many problems holding serve there. 2 games to 1 in the final set.
Thank you.
Just updating you on some of the action from the outside courts. Elena Vesnina of Russia having a win over Silvia Soler Espinoza, 6-2, 6-4. So a good start there for Vesnina. We'll play the winner of Lourdes Dominguez-Lino or Yaroslava Shvedova of Kazakhstan. That match coming up a little bit later today on one of the outside courts. Back next up on Court Events Tasmania, which is just behind camera position there. Monica Niculescu of Romania taking on Mandy Manella of Luxembourg, who was the top seed in qualifying. Played a final qualifying match right here on centre court. Got through in 3 sets.
Yeah. On the chair, yeah. Perfect, thanks.
So now Bobusic needing to readjust. And that's why. Wow, had the court open there. Gee, big opportunity. Again, didn't need to go so close to the line. Would have been in an excellent position. Both players looking for as many free points as possible on their serve. Haven't seen too many aces in this match. Just missing again. Can't believe she's missing only by a small margin. Missing again. Gee, a couple only missing by a small margin. Davis trying to attack, but Bobusic holds 2 games all now. This third and final set.
Balls on that side. Roll it down. Thank you.
Anything they can just to get over the line. Won't be a match that they're featuring heavily in classic matches here at the Moorilla Hobart International, but it's been interesting in that conditions have played a big part in how this match has played out. Just over the line again. Just the momentum just to get it over the net. Clips the tape, drops down. That's one of the points of the match. Great work from Bobusic. Defensive mode there for Davis. Well kept Bobusic playing that extra ball all the time. Had to come up with a big shot, and she did. Having to fight for every single point now. Hard work for both players. Well, that was only a matter of time. Davis has been taking plenty of time between points to try and wait for the wind to die down. Still only have 20 seconds between points, thereabouts. And another double fault. Well, they're to be expected on a day like today. It gives you an indication the weather temperature is dropping as high as about 25, 26 degrees. It's now only 20, and that wind, as you can see there, 35 kilometres an hour. Well, a breakpoint opportunity for Bojana Bobusic. She's had 12 opportunities to break. Taken 4 of those. No. Be kicking herself, Bobusic there. It's a golden opportunity. Bad unforced error, bad time. Well, there have been rare opportunities to really go on the attack in the second and third sets, but Bobusic taking full advantage there. Again, just dusting the line. Yet another breakpoint opportunity. That's wide. So Bobusic gets the break. 3 games to 2 in this final set.
Come.
There's a first practice to the approach.
Boy, the water here. Can you please?
So now the question is, can Bobusic consolidate the break? It's going to be difficult, tricky conditions today. The wind. It's a good way to do it. Just keep the pressure on Davis. Make it come up with that big shot. Get into the net. Try and take the conditions out as much as possible. Oh, wow. Tough point for both players. The ball moving in the air. Very hard to get into the right position. Nicely done. Going back in behind Davis that time. Good change of approach. Keep the ball low over the net, just generating that angle. They've been like gold today. Haven't seen too many aces. important moment here for Bobusic. Consolidate the break and keep trading serve from there. But can really put the pressure on Davis. One of the better of the conditions being that end of the court. Just catching the line. Davis can't believe it. Right, that line. I think it did actually catch it. Clearly, Lauren Davis doesn't think so. So she's going to take plenty of time here, but need to be careful. Get that towel out pretty quickly, because the umpire has been keeping tabs on how long they've been taking between points and between games. So now the pressure back on Lauren Davis. Covered well to win that second set. What can she come up with here? That's part of the adjustment that needs to be made. If she's playing down the other end, Lauren Davis, that ball would have dropped in. Instead, just overhit. Didn't need to put so much on the ball. Had a good position on the court. Oh, just dropped over the net. Again, the wind's just wreaking havoc with the tennis ball. Davis was forced to stop and change direction, move forward, just try and get anything to that ball. That's better. All Davis had to do was just guide the ball there. Did well up the line. Good use of the drop shot. She hasn't used it a lot in the match, but used it that time to great effect. Still facing break points. Pressure on this second serve. You can see how far Bobusic is inside the court. So Davis has that to contend with. Also the wind affecting the ball toss. Oh, that was well done. Bobusic right in there on top of that return. But Davis was waiting in that corner.
Bobusic.
So Bobusic with another breakpoint opportunity. And just to get the break, she'll be serving for the match. But as you can see there with Lauren Davis, just struggling down that end with the ball toss. Just crossed the 2-hour mark of this match. Will keep just urging herself on. Knows how important this 7th game is. Bobusic now just continue to take the game on. See that your opponent's struggling to serve. It's always going to be a tricky volley to pick up. Anything that's going in the air is moving around. But good adjustment on that approach, though, from Davis. It was always moving back towards the net. And got there. So finally getting the break of serve, Bojana Bobusic. 5-2. She'll be coming out to serve for the match next. Plenty of great action coming up on centre courts. Nina Brachikova and Sorana Kastar. Kastar is the 2nd seed at this tournament. Then Shai Su Wei taking on Peng Shuai of China. Shai is the top seed in this event, so seeds 1 and 2 to come this afternoon. And then tonight, Kirsten Flipkens of Belgium takes on Francesca Schiavone, the number 6 seed. And then the defending champion Mona Bartel is in action against the Australian wildcard Ashley Barty, who made her main draw WTA debut at this tournament last year. Went out in the opening rounds. Hopefully she can go one better, but tough ask against the defending champion from Germany. It's not going to be an easy match to serve out here for Bojana Bobusic. That's the tough end to serve from. So Lauren Davis, despite the fact that she's 5-2 down, will sense an opportunity here. So 3 breakback points for a player from the USA. Going to be a tough second serve. Davis should be in attacking this. So there's the break back. One of them anyway. Bobusic still in a strong position, but Laura Davis will be throwing absolutely everything into this service game. Great rally from both players. Haven't really had the opportunity to see a lot of rallying today. Certainly hasn't been the prettiest of tennis. Players forced just to grind it out. Again, Bobusic straight onto the attack, but it's just a serve that was rolled in from Davis. It's all she can do at the moment. Just 2 points away from the match now, Bobusic. He was desperate for a first serve. Gets it. So, ball just sliding into the hip of Bobusic there. Just didn't have time to get out of the way of it. Well done. Time was moving Bobusic side to side. Davis earns herself a game point. Both players have had to work super hard for their points today. 2 hours and 18 minutes on court. Oh, not that time. Wow. A couple of times we've seen Davis just sliding along the court. She might take a bit of time here, understandably.
Yes.
Complete control of that point. Forced Bobusic back into defensive mode. We'll just keep fighting here. So that ball just rolled over too, but Bobusic didn't move forward quick enough. So again, Bojana Bobusic will come out and serve for the match. 5-4 in the deciding sets. So Bojana Bobusic from WA with another opportunity to serve for this match. We'll have the better of the conditions from this end. No doubt be feeling a little nervous. Big moment for her on the WTA. Just be willing herself to the finish. Winner of this match to play the winner of the next match on centre court between Nina Brachikova and Sorana Castell. Guessed right. Great work. A couple of times she was looking for the call on that baseline. Every time just catching the edge. So great defensive work and then picked aside. Guessed correctly. Just guiding it up the line. 2 points now away from the match. Just things starting to tighten up again. This is a big moment for the Western Australian.
The service.
Oh.
30, 40.
Let that ball drop and get underneath it. Break point for Davis to bring this back to 5-all. Just starting to tighten up a little bit, Bobusic. Just missing. And that is the break of serve. 5-all now. Good comeback from Davis. 5-2 down.
Thanks.
It's on the last 3 games. And that was super impressive down that end of the court, which has been the tough end for both players. So now Davis, whose confidence must be rising, just has the momentum. So now, important for Bobusic just to get back to basics, go back to the game plan that got it to this point in the match. Simple from here, just make Davis play every single ball. 2 unforced errors in a row. Match by 1, winner.
30-15.
It's freed the arms. They've had too many points receiving of late, Bobusic, but Be pretty happy with that one. And that will be a crowd catch. Or not.
30 all.
Just taking your eyes off the ball at the last minute there. Lauren Davis. So 5 all, 30 all, final set. Completely overplayed that, and just again trying to put the pressure back on Davis. Is just overhitting, those unforced errors creeping back in. Another game point now for the American. And holds. 4 games in a row now for Lauren Davis. And it will be Bojana Bobusic coming out to serve to stay in this match. Coming up next, the lucky loser, Nina Brachikova. Russia taking on Sorana Kostaya, Romania, the 2nd seed. And they would have been warmed up and here at the courts for quite some time, waiting for this match to end, but it's been a bit of a roller coaster. Updating the score from the outside court that's going at the moment. Court Events Tasmania, Monica Nicolescu 5-4 in the opening set against Mandy Manella. Games on serve out there. Shea Su Wei, the top seed from Chinese Taipei, take on Peng Shui, also on our centre court today. And tonight, Kirsten Flipkins and Francesca Schiavone, followed by Ashley Barty and Mona Bartle. But now, Bojana Bobusic, after having a couple of opportunities to serve for the match, is now serving to stay in it. Oh, it's a bad miss. This match has slipped away, or slipping away, I should say, from Bojana Bobusic. In a good position Davis continuing to fight.
Good service.
Oh, guessed right again. Bobusic was in the right position, just couldn't finish it off.
40.
3 match points now for Lauren Davis. Oh, just dropping in. Bobusic keeps fighting. Still 2 more match points though for Davis.
15-40.
Do just about anything for a first serve. That's wide, just wide.
30-40.
2 saved, 1 more still for Lauren Davis. Gave it absolutely everything. Very calm throughout that point. Bobusic hit the line a couple of times. Back to deuce. And Bobusic now is really putting herself back in the frame here. Not a matter of Davis dropping her level. Bobusic is going out and winning these points. Well done. Say 3 match points. We are now at 6-all. Tie break to decide the match. Oh, 4 straight games to Davis and triple match point. Bobusic stood up and really came out and saved every one of those points. She's reached that mark, but let's see what she can come up with here. Here we go. Tie break to decide the match.
5-0, Davis.
Balls down, please. Yes.
Davis with the advantage of serving first in the tiebreaker. Nice help to hold serve and keep yourself in front. Also be important for Davis to win as many points as she can down this end of the court. Just missing. See, I thought for a second there Bobusic let that ball drop too low on that forehand drive volley. Really just played it straight up the back, straight back at Davis in the middle of the court. Davis almost made the shot. Still on serve though.
Behind the bottle? Yeah, just leave it. Leave it, thanks.
No, we're playing. See that Bobusic was going to go there. The breeze, the way it was, it wasn't going to be a true drop shot, but Davis was in such a hurry to get there, didn't slow down to hit that ball. So the mini break going the way of Bobusic. Oh, that's a brave serve. Considering how difficult it's been to serve today, particularly from that end. Did a great job. Consolidates the mini break. 4 points now to 2. The players will change ends, and very much advantage Bobusic now. Still with one more serve to come. Ratichkova coming next on court against Ana Castella, second seed. And waiting patiently for this match to finish. Two serves to come now for Davis. Need to make both of these. No doubt would be rattled having had 3 match point opportunities of her own. A series of small adjustments both players have had to make to contend with the wind on those ground strokes, and sometimes we'll see points like that. So 2 serves now for Bobusic. Still has that mini break. As we saw the set play out, Bobusic was up, then level, and down match points. Now up again. Plenty of momentum shifts through this game, but needs to make first serve here. Just stretching for that ball. And we are back square. No, missed that. Match point number 4 for Lauren Davis. And he's down the tough end for serving, but has fought back so well in this final set. It's 5-2 down. Got herself back and had some match points. Couldn't close it out then, but gets another opportunity now. Misses. What a great way to finish off the match. Laura Davis, what a fight back in this final set. Takes the match over a brave Bojana Bobusic. 1-6, 6-2, 7-6. A match that really didn't have a huge amount of highlights in it, but 2 hours and 48 minutes later, we have a winner, and Lauren Davis did so well. Has come through qualifying, really ground out that match, coming back from 5-2 down. Held some match points at 6-5, was forced back into the tiebreaker and had to fight her way back from there, and she can be very pleased with her performance. And great performance too by Bojana Bobusic. Took that first set 6-1, but couldn't keep the momentum going. Had opportunities at 5-2, 5-4 to serve it out, couldn't do it. she'll be disappointed with that. But Lauren Davis of the USA is through to the second round of the Moorilla Hobart International in 3 sets. Coming up next, Nina Brachikova and Sorana Castella, the second seed here on centre court.
Lauren just sign a few tennis balls and she'll hit them up into the crowd, and then we'll have a quick word